Now the introduction. Increasing ability to be able to write a good research article for international journal is needed nowadays. However, understanding the typical conventions of RA or research articles writing is still a problem for non-native speaker writers, since every section has its writing norms. Okay, all of RA sections or research article sections, the findings and discussion sections tend to be the most complex and flexible, according to Ruijing and Ellison 2003. Therefore, genre analysis is crucial to help understand the concept of methodical organization of a research article. Okay, next. Now, the typologies of research article findings and discussion sections, or FND sections. According to Stoller and Robinson in 2013, there are three common typologies or generic structures of the findings and discussion sections of a research article. The first type is blog. So here, the writer or the author presents the detailed descriptions and explanations of the findings, and then followed by the discussion. So that's why the description is finding one, finding two, and then discussion one and discussion two. And then the second type is iterative one. So here, belum Pak Toto, masih yang tadi.
Oh ya.
Yeah, belum saya. Okay. Number two, iterative one. So here, the writer exhibits the blended flow of the findings in discussions, and then it requires the writer's ability to not only present the findings, but also discuss it critically after the findings are presented. So that's why the description or flow of information is finding one, and then directly discussions, and then findings two, and then directly discussions the findings critically. And then number three, integrated one. This is not orderly organized. That's why it is more challenging to understand the boundaries of the EFF and D part of each other. And then the FND section comprises four main rhetorical moves. Number one is providing background information. Number two, reporting results. Number three, summarizing results. And number four, commenting on result. This framework as a guideline is based on Ruijing and Ellison in 2003. Okay, next. The previous research of genre analysis on RA or research articles, findings, and discussion sections. First is research by Amnoy and Wanaruk in 2013. They found that background information and summary moves were optional in PI and international journals. And then second research conducted by Joseph and Lim in 2018, they examined the rhetorical moves of 60 discussion sections of forestry research articles from several Scopus research articles from several sorry. Okay. Number two, Joseph and Lim in 2018 examined the rhetorical moves of 60 discussion sections of forestry research articles from several Scopus Index Key 1 journals. And the findings demonstrated that the providing background information move was obligatory. Then number three, research by Perley in 2018 presents another case in the Indonesian research article, that is when the Indonesian writers discussing the different results between their research and previous research, most of them do not provide any explanations for such differences. Next. Next, Pak Toto. Okay. In this study, the researcher stated two research questions. The first one is how do the Indonesian undergraduate EFL students manifest the rhetorical moves in their iterative findings and discussion sections? And then number two, how do the students project the configurations of the move step patterns? Next. And then the methods, the design of this study was a genre approach move analysis according to Hill in 2009. And then the data sources covers of this data of 113 of 138 research articles, unpublished research articles from a state university in Bandung. And then corpus in total consists of 104,789 words, where the average number of words per article is 927 words. And then the data analysis. The first approach is the top-down approach to analyze the rhetorical organizations. This study first examined the rhetorical moves of a small corpus to define and set the boundaries among the moves and steps. And then one external writer whose expertise in on-discourse analysis was invited to re-examine the obtained descriptions of the rhetorical moves. And then number three, the obtained rhetorical structure was compared to three widely used models. That is Dudley Evans 1994, Swells 1990, and Ruing and Ellison in 2003. And then finally, Ruing and Ellison's model was selected as the analysis guideline. And then also NMover 1.10 was utilized to analyze the text because it is designed for rhetorical moves analysis. Next, number two, the study used the bottom-up approach to scrutinize the linguistic realizations. So the first one, the bottom-up approach focused on the analysis of tense, sentence voice, and formulaic phrases of the moves. And then the linguistic realizations were analyzed manually. And then the last one, the study considered the hand coding strategy more beneficial to generate more fine-grained results. Next. And then what about the credibility? The data credibility, the study used data triangulation method that was employed by elaborating the statistical results and citation from the corpus to address the two research questions. And also, it used inter and intra-coder reliability tests were conducted to decrease the subjectivity level upon the analysis results to find Cohen's kappa value by using Excel. Next. Okay, for findings and discussion will be presented by Pak Toto. Thank you. Please, Pak Toto.
Okay, thank you, Bu Neng. Good afternoon, Pak Widi and Bu Uli, and good afternoon all of my friends. Here I would like to continue Bu Neng's presentations, and my chance will be on the finding and the discussions. As Bu Neng stated that it is research asking about two questions. The questions number one is how the students in Indonesia, the undergraduates of the students in Indonesia realize rhetorical move and step. How do they create rhetorical move and step in writing, finding, and discussions? Number one, and then the questions number two is what are the linguistic realizations occur or that we can find from finding and discussions sessions on the research. questions. So there are two questions there. The realizations of the rhetorical move and step, and number two, the realization of linguistics, something like patterns, something like what kind of tenses and so on. There are two things that we are going to answer, that the researcher is going to answer in this articles. And then in doing the research, the researcher use this kind of move, this kind of guideline. Sorry, I will go to this one first. Now, the researcher use this kind of guideline, this kind of guideline. That there are four moves. This is the ideal concept of finding and discussion in international research, actually proposed by the expert, that is used by the researcher in this article. The ideal move, there are four, and then move one, move two, move three, and move four. Move one, providing background of information, and then move two, reporting the result, and then move three, summarizing the result, and then move four, commenting on the result. It means that in the research and finding and discussion session of the research should provide completely started from move one until move four. Okay, so we as a researcher, if we want to write the finding and discussion research, we must include move one, move two, move three, and move four, providing background of information first, and then reporting the result first, and then after that summarizing the result, and then commenting on the result. So there are four moves. In every move, there are some steps. Step something like detail, something like detail. Step move one consists of 3 steps. How to achieve move one? There are 3 steps. Step one, stating the context. Step two, preparing the sequence of presentation. And then step three, restating data collection and analysis procedure. And then in move two, there are 2 details. There are 2 steps to achieve move two. Number one is statement of the result, and then finding. And then the third, there is no step, especially for move 3, there is no step. And then move 4, there are 4 steps. Step 1, interpreting result, comparing result in literature, accounting for the result, and then evaluating the result. I don't know, we have already done research in our S1 and our S2, and we also wrote finding and discussion sessions. I still do not know whether we have already used move 1 until move 4 or not. Maybe we can question ourselves. If me, maybe I only use move 2 and move 2, just move 2 and move 3 maybe, or move 2 and move 4. On my research S1 and S2, maybe only in finding discussion research, I only report the result, and after that I give my comment on my results, only that, I think. So the fact that the ideal one, we should have move 1, move 2, move 3, and move 4 if we want to write finding and discussion session. So this title is going to be used by the researcher to analyze the 113 research article, whether those all articles have already used move 1, move 2, move 3, and move 4. Or maybe just some of them only use move 1 and move 2, or maybe just some of them only use 3 move, and so on and so on and so on. They are going to analyze using this kind of the guidelines. Okay. This is my overview. Now let's come to the first finding. Now let's come to the first finding. Excuse me. This one. This is the first finding. Okay. There are 130 113. There are 113 research articles. Okay, and now let's discuss about move one only, providing the background of information. This move reach conventional status. Yeah. How we have put? Oh, sorry ya. Aku belum. Oh ini. Finding and the discussion ya. There are the rhetorical move in the students in iterative finding and discussion section. Okay, this subsection analyze the manifestation of the rhetorical move in the scopus to address the first research question. So the first we would like to present the finding for the realization or the manifestation of the rhetorical move by the student to answer the first research question. And then the second, this study define occurrence as the number of the move and step featured in the corpus, and then while the salience as the number of phrase featuring the move and the step. And then this study used the framework of determining the silent status of the move and step proposed by Kanoxilapatan. And then according to Kanoxilapatan, there are three steps. Yeah, there are three levels. The first level is obligatory. This is obligatory. How we can say that this is obligatory if the move and the step appear total 100% of the entire scopus. So if the student use a total 4 moves and then totally all the steps in writing, finding, and discussion session, it means that it is categorized of obligatory. Okay, and then the second is conventional. If the move and the step appear in 60% to 99% of the entire scopus. So if the students only use 60 until 90% of the move and the step in writing, finding, and discussion session, so we call this as conventional. And the last is optional. If the move or step appear in the research, in the finding and discussion, less than 60% of the entire scope. So if the student only use the move and step less than 66% of the entire corpus, so we call this as optional. After this, we will see. Move 1 belong to obligatory, move 2 belong to conventional, or move 3 belong to optional. Now let's go to the move 1. Okay. Providing background information. How the student realize, how the student manifest the providing background and information. The fact that this move reach conventional status around 87%. Featuring research articles. Okay, so it means that from the total 130 article, there are 80% of the article write move one, use move one, providing background and information. So the article give a providing background and information with the total number 87%. I think it is a big enough, yeah, and it is categorized as a conventional status. And then, how about the step? All the steps in this introductory move were conventional, belong to conventional. Step 1, 61, and then step 2, 42, and then step 3, and then 69. Step. So it means that not all of them use the step. No. Okay. No. And not all of them use the 4 move. No. The move only use until 87%. So this is discussing about the use of move in the research article. Move 1, yeah, in the research article. And then the second is about the linguistic realization. Present simple present tense in passive form was preferably employed for step 1 and step 2. In step 1, they usually use simple present in passive voice and step 2. While simple past in passive simple past usually used to write step 4. Step 3, to write step 3. If they want to write step 3, they use passive yang simple past. Some other prefer the use of future tenses or simple present in active form using transitive verb. Like something like examine, and then elaborate, and then discuss. Okay, they like to use simple future and also simple present, some of them. So this is the finding of Mufwa. This is the example of citation. Yeah. The categorization of the competitive and cooperative game above are based on blah 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 theory about kind of games. They use simple present nominal. And then the first finding are related to the research. To the first research question is that is about the student perception of technology integrated in the language learning using passive, simple, present are related. The first finding are related. This is passive, yeah, passive simple present. Questionnaire was addressed to teachers and students, which was held before and after the implementation of LEA using passive but simple past. The questionnaire was addressed simple past passive. This section will discuss a various type of strategies of feedback applied by the teacher to the student descriptive text observed in this research. They use simple future. So those are the realizations of linguistic realizations to answer as the finding of the second research questions. The next. Now let's talk about move to reporting the result. Is it right that all 130 articles did reporting the result? The answer is yes. Move to was interestingly conventional, but reaching about 99% of the research article featuring the move. It means that 99% of 113 articles did reporting the result. I think that we will say that, of course, because this is the section of finding and discussion. Of course, they should report the result. But the fact that there is 1% of the total article that did not report the result, because this is only 99%, not total 100%. I don't know why. The latter, let's talk about the step. The latter step was manifested more than the former step. So there are a bigger, yeah, 93% and 78% respectively. So it is nice to find that the researcher also used the step in move to. There are two steps until 93% and 78%. Okay, and then the last, let's talk about the linguistic realization. It implies that the detailed description must follow the reference to a table graph. Linguistically, the student employed present simple tense, simple present again, in active form, but this is active, not passive, with reporting verb followed by that clause. This is the example. Table 4 1, because reporting the result is talking about the table, yeah. Table 1 showed that the most of the students agree, 83% agree that the use of the technology make the learning English more interesting, and a few students strongly agree, while a small number disagree with it, using present simple tense, simple present tense in active form with reporting verb followed by that clause. The table 44.1 show this is simple present, and then that the most student, that clause. This is the typical. And then the second, the following table show the result of the 5 observations of the teacher's technique in presenting the meaning and form of vocabulary using reporting verb directly followed by the object. And then the last, the third and the fourth frequently used strategies were cognitive strategy and social strategy. Using simple past when dealing with numerical finding. If they use numerical finding, they usually use simple past tense. This is the linguistic realization for move 2. And then for move 3, summarizing result. Is it right if the total 130 article summarize the result? The answer is there are 95% of the whole research articles that summarize the result. Lumayan besar ya, 95%. That is the total research article that summarize the result. And this is regarded as the conventional. And then because in move 3 there is no step ya. In move 3 there is no step. Summarizing the result, there is no step. Okay, so the slide only discussing about the function of summarizing the result. It is to state the general point from one particular instrument to ascertain the final result of the hypothesis testing, or to summarize the result from all instruments of a specific finding. This is the function of summarizing result, or this is the way to summarize the result. It shows that the nature of writing, the finding and discussion section need more detailed presentation of the finding justified by further argumentation on the finding. Okay, and then linguistically, this is a linguistic realization. They like to use "it can be concluded" phrase, yeah, and it is shown that they usually like to use those two phrases. This is the example. From the data above, it can be concluded. They use "it can be concluded." And then number 2, yeah, this is number 2. From all instruments, it is shown that the most of them usually like to use "it is shown that" and "it can be concluded" to manifest the move 3 redaction. And then the last, this is move 4, commenting on the result. Okay. Is it right that all of 113 research article give comment on the result? The answer is around 3% of the whole research article did not provide a further argumentation to convince the reader about the finding, mean commenting the result. 3% did not. It makes us confused. Kok bisa 3% ya yang tidak commenting on the result? Padahal there is auxiliary verb did not. So the understanding harus dibalik. It means that 100 dikurangi 3. There is 97%, around 97% of the total article give comment on the result, because only 3% of the total of the whole research article did not provide further argumentation. It means that dibalik, total 97% of the whole research article give comment on the result. Okay. It is something unique, yeah. The redaction is very unique and it really makes us confused. And then what about the step? It provides the step 3, 59%, step 4, 30%, although around 73% of the students have strengthened their finding with previous research through step 2. That is the realization. And then regarding to the linguistic realization, all steps in move 4 display specific signaling word, using signaling word, something like the use of hedging, and then in step 2 and in step 7, and then the combination of copular verb and adjective phrase, and then the dominant appearance of causal conjunction, causal using the causal conjunction, And then using the frequent use of suggestive models like should, must, have, and so on, need, okay, and so on. So this is the realizations of the linguistics, yeah, that is done to create the reduction of move. This is the example. In other words, the storytelling technique increase the student score in general, but 6 sessions. So this is to hedge. Yeah, this is something like hedging, but 6 sessions of the treatment still cannot make the storytelling technique significantly improve. Blah 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 blah, blah until vocabulary. Okay, and then the finding is in line with the moment that this technique is less essential for young learners, and so on, and so on, and so on. This is those four are the example of realistic linguistic realization used in MUFO in commenting the result. Okay. This is the table, yeah. This is all the tables. From move 1 until move 4. You can see the word salient di pojok itu, salient, okay. Stating the context, total ada 61%. Preparing the consequence of the presentation ada 42%. It means not all. And then restating data collection and analysis procedure ada 59%. And then in step 2 in reporting move 2 ya. Move 2 in reporting the result, the statement of the result total ada 78%, and then finding total ada 93%, and so on and so on and so on. This is the realization of the step, ya, of the step in research article. Okay. And then the next is another finding. We still talk about research question 1. The manifestation of rhetorical move configurations. The entire configuration of the finding and discussion section were classified into 3 main configurations: 2 move, 3 move, and 4 move. It is very interesting, yeah. We want to see whether the student use only 2 move, 3 move, or total 4 move configuration. So from 170 article, how many percent use only 2 move, and how many percent use only 3 move, and how many percent use all move? We will see. The ideal one is for move, yeah. Move 1, move 2, move 3, move 4 should be existed in writing, finding, and discussion. But the result is very interesting. The results show that the student had propensity to manifest the 4 move configuration sebanyak 78,76% atau total 89 research article. So the fact that 89 research article use 4 move configuration, total move, ideal. It means that they use 4 moves, so this is ideal. And then while the other student prefer to use only 3 moves, sebanyak 17.69% atau 220 research article. There are 20 research article that only use 3 move, not 4 move, but only 3 move. Yang paling menarik adalah there are 3 research article atau 2.65% only use to move. I don't know. Last time when you did your S1 and S2 research, you used to move or 3 move or maybe all move. But for me, I think only to move. If I analyze my own research last time, when I was writing finding and discussion, I think I only used to move, yeah, finding the result and commenting on the result. This is my analysis on my own research last time. Okay. This is this one. The conclusion. Yeah, this one is the table. To move research, sebelah kiri, to move research only 3 article, and then 3 move research, 3 move finding and discussion, only 20 article, and then the research that use total 4 move, 89 article. So I think the biggest one, I think it is ideal for Indonesian undergraduate student that they have already used 4 move to move 1, there are 3 steps, move 2, there are 2 steps, move 3, there is no step, and move 4, there are around 4 steps, around 4 steps. And the fact is different. In move 1, step 1 only used by 38 artikel.
Pak Toto, where are you? Hilang?
Sepertinya terlempar dari Zoom.
Buni?
Coba saya screen. Kelihatan screen-nya?
Kelihatan, Bu.
Kelihatan. Saya malah nggak kelihatan. Wait. Saya ulang lagi. Aduh. Atau mungkin minta tolong.
Bagaimana, Buni?
Saya nggak bisa lihat ini screen-nya.
Ini yang view-nya sudah diklik.
Saya yang nggak bisa.
Oh, mau
Iya.
mau dibantu share PowerPoint-nya, Bu?
Gitu aja ya.
Bentar, tak cari file-nya. Tapi sebentar.
Saya share. Terus saya share lagi.
Boleh, Bu. Ini saya file-nya belum ketemu. Aduh.
Sebentar. Memang.
Nggak bisa, Bu Ning. Saya bantuin.
Ini tolong, Bu, ini saya share di grup EED.
Oh, ini Bu Suci udah bantuin, Bu.
Silakan Bu Ning.
Sudah ya? Oh ya. Oke, tadi Pak Toto sampai conclusion ya. Okay, from the study, it can be concluded that the first study has addressed two research questions regarding the manifestation of rhetorical moves along with their constituent steps and the manifestation of the rhetorical organization in the corpus of unpublished research article, iterative findings, and discussion sections. And then the findings of research. The findings reach two concluding remarks. So the first one is most of the students have projected a considerably limited awareness of giving deep argumentations as a crucial element of the finding and discussion sessions. Second, the non-conformities in organizing the rhetorical moves, that is randomized patterns or incomplete steps. And also it has caused another problem, that is the lack of clarity as another important element of the finding and discussion sections. Next.
It has been changed, Bu. You may continue.
And then the pedagogical implication on future research recommendations.
Halo Bu Ning.
Yeah. Hello.
Sorry ya.
You are back. Yeah.
Ya, terlempar.
After conclusion, Pak. Pedagogical implications.
This is your screen, Bu, or my screen?
Dibantu Bu Suci ya tadi ya.
Iya, Bu.
Yeah.
Okay, please, Pak Toto.
Yeah, that is the conclusion. Yeah, there are two conclusions of the research. The first is the manifestation of rhetorical move along with the step and the manifestation of rhetorical organization. Okay? The finding reached to concluding remark. The first, most of the students have projected a considerably limited awareness. They have limited awareness of giving a deep argumentation of crucial elements of the finding and research section. So most of the students still have limited awareness of using the four move, and then the second, the non-conformities, ketidakcocokan ya, ketidaksesuaian in organizing the rhetorical move. For example, randomized pattern, rumusnya masih acak-acakan, masih tidak seragam, and so on. Or incomplete step, the students still do not use all the step. Yeah. Some of them use, most of them use all the move, but they still do not use incomplete step. So this is the, and it causes another problem because they do not provide the incomplete step. So it has caused another problem, that is the lack of clarity, and as another important element of the finding and research and finding and discussion succession. So because they do not have incomplete, they only have incomplete step, so it gives the problem of the clarity when the reader read the research and the finding and discussion section on the research. And then the next implication.
Is Pak Tato
Ya,
already changed for recommendation?
oh sudah ya. Nggak bisa baca ya.
Di layar saya masih conclusion masalahnya.
Ya, masih
bingung.
conclusion ya.
Langsung dibaca aja, Pak.
Hah? Ya, after conclusion, I have pedagogical ya, pedagogical implementations. The first pedagogical implementation is for the teacher, for the lecturer, that in the future time, the lecturer should give focus on the importance on giving the materials of importance of using for move for the students if they want to write the finding and discussion session, because especially about the step, the teacher must give explanation of the importance of using all the move and all the step if the student want to write the finding and discussion session. And then the second, aduh, my connection pin ya, sorry ya. Oh ya Allah.
Halo Pak Toto.
Hello. At the second, because I cannot read the pedagogical implication ya. As long as I remember the second implication, there should be the guideline, special guideline for the students if they want to send the research article in what journal, and then the guideline of discussion and section should be like this. And then if you want to send the article to, let's say, to next journal, so the guideline of writing, finding, and discussion is like this, and so on and so on. So the journal article institution should provide something like template and so on, so that it will guide the students, it will guide the teacher about the researcher to write the finding and discussion, and also the campus. The campus should give the template for the student how to write the finding and discussion, session. So the student will have the similarity, the equality of the way to write the finding and discussion session. This is the pedagogical implication for the research. And the last is for the research recommendation for the future research. I forget to, because I do not read the article, yeah, and I cannot open my handphone.
The explorations of the relationship. So, okay, I will continue.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Pak
yeah.
Toto.
Oh yeah, Bu.
Yeah.
The exploration of the relation between the rhetorical move and their lexical density level in non-native student and the graduate student finding and discussion session from different discipline might also be possible for the field research. So the next researcher can find the relationship between the rhetorical move and their lexical density level, the lexical density level in non-native speaker undergraduate student ya. This is for the next researcher. So in my conclusion, if we want to write the ideal finding and discussion session in our research next time, we should have for move 1, move 2, move 3, and move 4. And then we also should provide all steps in every move. So that is the best way to write the finding and research discussion. Thank you. I think that's all for me and Ule.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's continue our discussions. You may ask questions if you don't understand for some part of the content of our journal. This journal is taken from IJAL or Indonesian Journal of Applied Linguistics. And then basically it discusses rhetorical moves. Yeah. So rhetorical moves, findings and discussion sections of research articles. And every move, there are some steps, except for move 3, there is no step, just summarizing results. That's for the conclusions. Okay, questions, please, Bu Tara.
Thank you for the chance. Nice presentation, Pak Toto and Bu Ning. First, I would like to give an evaluation related to table 2, page 62. On the table, the description of the corpus use the data from 2013 up to 2017, while the study conducted in 2020. And that's for the evaluations. And for the second one, it's about the term ERPP, English for Research Publications. I would like to ask to anybody who have an experience of teaching English for research publications purpose. Thank you.
Thank you, Bu Tara. So the first one, Bu Tara evaluate about the table 2, that about the description of the corpus. So the corpus of this study start from 2013 until 2017. But this article is published in 2020. Gitu ya, Bu ya? Yes, I don't know. The authors of the research article, it could be that they conducted the research in 2017 and then they published in 2020. It could be, but I don't know for sure. Yeah, but thank you for your evaluations. And then the second one is you asked about. Can you repeat once again?
ERPP. It is stated at the last of abstract English for.
Oh, I see.
Research
Publication. Okay. English for research publication purposes. Okay, teaching materials. Yeah. So you ask maybe not only on Pak Toto, maybe other friends here who has, yes, anybody here who has the experience teaching ERPP, you can share to this group. Maybe we can our group or Pak Toto will answer the questions. The second questions. ERPP.
Actually, I have never taught the research at my campus, so I have no experience to teach the research, how to write the research article. That is the question.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, maybe
I
we can.
also, yes, have no experience in teaching English for research publication purposes. Maybe anybody here want to share your experience, please? Nobody? Okay.
Or maybe
Maybe-
Putara actually has the experience. Want to tell the experience of how to teach to research in.
No, this is the new one, Pak Toto. And in my opinion, I think it is related to writing or still English for specific purpose. This is the new thing for me too. I really, I'm curious actually about what we learn in ERPP.
Okay, maybe in Universitas Panca Sakti Tegal, is there any course of ERPP, English for research publication purposes in UPS? No? No, okay. Maybe next time we will ask Bubli or Pak Widi in the next meeting. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Next, Yulia or Bu Surti, please.
Yes, Buning.
Yes, Yulia first.
Maybe I want to ask you not about the content, but about the critical review of this article, especially. Yeah, from this article, do you find the gap and the novelty of the study or no? And then, what is in which part of the article we know that this study is useful for our student, especially in the higher education. Yeah, that's my question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bu Yulia. So there are two questions. Yeah, the first one is the critical review of this article, and then the second one, whether the result or the findings of the research is useful for our students, especially in higher education. Okay, about the Pak Toto will answer first or me?
Okay. If we talk about the novelty of this research, we can find from the subject of the research, yeah, because this research used the undergraduate students analyzing the rhetorical move done by the undergraduate students. The fact that most of the research are done in graduate students. When the research are done in graduate student, most of them use almost very well, and most of them use all the steps in every move very well, because maybe the graduate student have already got many experience and have already got good knowledge and so on, so they can elaborate the finding and discussion very well. But that's why the researcher is willing to use the undergraduate student as the novelty of this research. Okay, they want to know how is the condition. How about the student of undergraduate student if they want to write the discussion and finding and discussion section on the research, because of course graduate student and undergraduate student are different. They have different level of experience. They have different level of knowledge and so on. So I think this is one of the critical review dealing with the novelty. Is that answering your question, Ibu?
Yes, Pak. And then the second one?
The second is about
the findings of the research, whether it is useful. or not for the students?
Well, I think,
Okay, I will, yes.
ya itu monggo Ibu. Kuning monggo.
Okay, for the first one, yes, about the novelty, I think it is stated in the abstract of the article that study on the quality of rhetorical moves in the undergraduate young students research article is still scarce, yang masih langka. That's why the study seeks to examine the manifestation of rhetorical moves in the finding and discussion sections. Jadi previous academic genre analysis itu umumnya has generated several models to help novice writers develop the rhetorical moves of the F&D sections across disciplines. Nah, untuk yang this one, untuk yang the undergraduate EFL students itu still scarce. I think that is the novelty of this research. And then second questions, whether it is useful. Yes, I think it is very useful because because genre analysis here can help the students to understand the concept of rhetorical organization of a research article. So it also stated in the pedagogical implications and in the last slide that the lecturer hopefully to focus on improving the students' understanding. So it is hoped that after reading this, the students can improve how to write finding and research findings and discussion sections in the article research better. And it has been mentioned by Toto also that a good finding and discussion sections, we have to follow the rhetorical moves. There are 4 moves in the sections. The first one is providing background informations, and then there are 3 steps. And then the move 2, reporting results, there are 2 steps. And then move 3, summarizing results. And then the last move is commenting on results. So yes, it is useful so that the students can write better in findings and discussion sections. That's my opinion to Yuria. Maybe Pak Toto will add more explanation about this, please.
Yes, thank you. So the novelty, maybe number 1 is about the student. Yeah. Number 2, most of the research dealing with analyzing research article are focusing on analyzing the move in abstract. So there are so many researchers are analyzing about the move and the step in abstract. But just very few the researcher that analyze in finding and discussion session. Maybe next we can analyze the methodology sessions. What is the move and step in methodology session? What is the move and step in conclusion, in giving the conclusion, and so on and so on and so on. Maybe it is still something new. As long when we did some orientation on the internet last week, before we got the title, we didn't find that there is a article talk about the move and step in conclusion, the move and step in methodology, and so on. So maybe it is new novelty again that we can use for our research next time. And then the second question, is it important or not? I think it's important. As long as I live, because maybe this course is new for me, it is the first time I know that there is a terminology of move and step. I think if you want to develop the discussion and finding and discussion session, we just state what is the finding, and then we discuss the finding and so on and so on. I still do not see the convention or the template and something like this. This is the first time that actually there is a system. Actually, there is a system in finding and discussion session. So it means that we cannot write randomly. We cannot write randomly when in every session. Actually, in my mind, now I come to my conclusion that actually in every chapter of the research there is convention, there is apa namanya, there is a system, there is a system, there is a genre, that we can analyze. Now, this is the first time. Frankly speaking, when I was doing my S1 and S2, I didn't understand that. Yeah, I just follow my I just follow the example from another scripture and so on. And now I am finding that actually there is a system in every chapter. Maybe there is a system in methodology. There is a genre, convention genre that has been convented, sudah standardized. There is genre that has been standardized by international community. So we cannot write a methodology randomly. We cannot write the research abstract randomly. We cannot write the conclusion session randomly, because actually there is a genre that has been standardized by international community. This is the first time, and now we understand the word move and step. That in finding and discussion session there are 4 move and there are so many steps that should be written by the student if they want to write this session. So I think it is very important if we transfer this knowledge to our student in as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Bu Yulia. Is it enough? Okay,
Yes,
that's it.
clear, very
Oh.
clear enough.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah.
Bu Yulia. And next, Bu Surti ya, Mbak Hasan?
Yes, yeah, thank you
okay,
very much, Bu Ning and Pak Toto. Yeah, it is a very awesome topic and awesome presenters today. Well, I have read the article at glance actually, and the findings we have already read together, and we found that so many move here, right? But I only focus on one move, especially for move 4. It's about commenting on result. My question is, do you have any explained by your own opinion that why only 3% the whole article research did not provide further argumentation to convince the readers about the findings? Yes, only that. It's page 67. Yes, 67. Yes. Thank you very much, Bu Ning and Pak Toto.
Muning, you are me?
Oh yeah.
I got
Okay,
the answer.
Pak Toto. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Bu
Silakan.
Surti. Yeah, thank you, Bu Surti. Bu Surti, we have to be very happy actually, because 30% is for the student who do not write apa tadi, who do not write,
Provide
who do not
further
provide
argumentation
argumentation.
to convince.
Only 3%, Bu Surti. So actually there is only 3%. It means that there are 97% of the students of the articles, total article, that provide the further argumentation. Nah, ini redaksinya saja yang dibalik ini by the writer ya. Okay, there is the word did not. Last time I got confused. Why only 3%? Yeah, that doing the fourth move 4. Why only 3%? Kok sedikit banget gitu maksudnya? And then we analyze the sentence. That apa namanya? Actually there are 97%. There are 97% of the students who provide further argumentations. So we have to understand. We have to try to understand the redaction dengan pemahaman terbalik ya. Dengan pemahaman terbalik. So it is a good actually. It is a good that there are 90% of the students that provide further argumentation and only 3% of the students that do not provide further argumentation. So I think it is good. If the question is why, based on the research, based on the article of the research, they cannot give comment ya. Move forward itu commenting ya, Buning ya.
Commenting on results. Yeah.
most of the student of undergraduate student, most of the undergraduate student, they have limited knowledge, bro. They have limited knowledge, they have limited experience compared to graduate student. That's why they have a problem how to give a comment on the result, because they still have a background, a limited background knowledge, that it is gives them a problem there to develop the idea and so on and so on and so on. It is also stated in the research, in the article actually.
Yes, I agree with you, Pak Toto. I know I have known actually it's only 3% that they are not comment, not give their writing comment in findings. So my question is why? Because yes, you have already mentioned it's about the lack of the writing, because they don't have any capacity to write commenting on the result. Maybe it's something that's skip for the students, undergraduate students, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Pak Toto.
So, mungkin malah gini ya, this is my analysis. Maybe the student actually, the undergraduate student actually still do not understand that there are four moves. They don't understand actually that there are four moves in writing, finding a discussion. They just write, okay, and then it is researched by a researcher. Actually, they don't realize that, most of them don't realize that they have already written move 1, move 2, move 3, or move 4. Nah, but based on the analysis, ternyata there are only 3% that do not give comment on the result. Okay, so so one of the problem is that maybe they still do not understand about the move of the fourth move, that there is a fourth move. Okay, they lack understanding about the move, ya, about the genre analysis, especially about the move and the step. Ya karena tidak tahu maka tidak ditulis itu, maybe something like this.
Yes, okay. I think it is also stated in the articles that some students maybe are not concerned with enough listening or profound argumentations for the unspecific findings. So maybe, as Pak Toto said, maybe they write the findings and discussion section, stop in move 3, only summarize the result, but they did not comment on the result. The interpreting, comparing, counting, and also evaluating. I think it's our opinion, Bu Surti.
Yes, because there are 113 articles, right? So
Yes.
if we calculate 3%, maybe around 2 or 3. Only, yes,
5
less than 10, less than 5, right?
Yeah, less than 5.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next, Bu Hasna, I think. Bu Hasna lebih
All right,
baca.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bu Setyaningsih and Pak Toto. This is the new for me to discuss about the genre analysis. Yeah, I will ask question about from these findings that from the journal, I read the conclusions. The little conclusion. So I will ask, my question is, what are the most on points of the finding of the research?
What? Can you repeat, Bu?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
most, yeah.
What is the most?
Yeah. On point of the finding of the research.
So you mean there are 4 moves, move 1, move 2, 3, and 4, and then which move that, what is it, are stated in the article, in the corpus? Is that what you mean, Bu Hasna? Bu
Yeah.
Hasna?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So Pak Toto, Bu Hasna asked about the, what is it? The occurrence, yeah. The occurrence
Yeah,
and
occurrence,
salience
yes, yes.
of the steps and the moves. Move one,
Oh.
move two. I think this is on. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Wasna, I think the most important conclusion of the research to answer the first research questions about the rhetorical move done by the students is that that this that there are 89 back to the concept of two move, three move, and four move. Okay. The finding is that, and the conclusion is that there are 89 articles from total 117 used for step. I think this is the most important sorry, used for move. There are 89 articles from total 117 article that use for move. And then the second, there are 20 article from total that use three move. And then the third, there is only 3 articles that use two move. I think when we talk about the genre analysis, the most important one is the move. Yeah, the most important one is the move. The student actually should use the four move. Kalau step ya oke lah, step is a part of the move, but actually as long as we have move we have a move, we give the move, the statement of the move actually, of course stepnya akan ngikut lah dengan sendirinya. I think like this. Yeah. So the most important one is the finding is about the move, That some of the student only use sekian persen step, yeah, that is the reality. But as long as they use that move 1 until move 4, I think that is ideal. And the fact that 2 move done by 3 article, 3 move done by 20 article, and 89 4 move done by 89 article. So I think that is the most important conclusion about the research dealing with 117 article dealing with finding the genre analysis of finding and discussion session. Yeah.
Okay, Bu Hasna, is that clear?
Right, so it is to increase the student critical thinking ya Ibu sama Bapak.
Actually, is that the purpose to improve the critical thinking? That is your questions.
Yes. Number one,
all right.
We can make student understand, and then they can improve the critical thinking of the student, of course. Okay. So,
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bu Hasna. Okay, the last one, Bu Aaf, Aflahatun, please.
Okay, thank you, Bu Ning and Pak Toto for the chance. Okay, I have 2 questions. The first question is why the author use or choose. There are 3 typologies in this article, right? Block,
Yes, right.
iterative, and integrated. So my question: why the author choose iterative typology? That's my first question. And then the second question is actually I interesting in genre analysis. Yeah. This is for a research article. My question: if we want to use genre analysis in, for example, in my subject, for example, academic writing, so can we analyze my subject, for example, academic writing, with this genre? I mean, for example, have we analyzed my subject or academic writing with move 1, move 2, and move 3, like that, Pak Toto and Bu Ning? Do you get the point?
Yes.
Yes, I understand.
Okay, thank you, Pak Toto.
Yes. Okay. There are two questions here. Why iterative? Since there are three typologies of research article. And then the second one is, can we use this, or is it, can we apply this to academic writing if I want to conduct a research about gender analysis?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Me
Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. For me,
Okay. Pak Toto on me.
you.
Okay. About iterative. Yes. I think, as we know, that iterative typology exhibits the blended flow of the findings and the discussion. So here, the writer writes the findings first and then directly discuss the what is it? Discuss it critically. Why the author or the researchers chose this? I think because based on the analysis. Yes, they have analyzed the bottom up. The bottom up. The researchers do top-down approach and also the bottom-up approach. So the top-down approach is to analyze the rhetorical organizations. So the researcher here first examine the rhetorical moves of small corpus to define and set the boundaries among the moves and steps. And then it is found that from the corpus, for the small corpus, that the result, I think it is comprises okay, I forget where is it. Intinya adalah bahwa mengapa iterative, because they use top-down approach to analyze small corpus first, and then they found that yang sesuai itu adalah tipologinya adalah iterative.
Yeah.
Iya, cuma saya I forgot where the statements, yeah, but I have ever read that because the corpus, the small corpus itu sesuai dengan yang iterative ones, not the first one, the block, and not the last one. That's why they choose iterative. And then the second one is, can we analyze? There are many genre analysis. For the article, the researcher conduct a research finding and discussions. Also, there are research which analyze the abstract, the introductions, and I think you can use all the what is it, the concept or the move and steps in this article to analyze their academic writing. That's my opinion. Yeah. Okay, maybe Pak Toto wants to add something.
Yeah, thank you, Bu Aan. Buning is right, yeah. Buning is right that why the researcher use iterative. Number one, it is based on the analysis of the total article. The total article actually is around 138 actually, Bu. The total ya, the total sebelum menjadi 113 itu, the total actually 188 article, and then the research did some analysis, Bu. Jadi sekian the research give the boundary, batasan ya, boundary itu from one move to another move, from one move to another move in every article. Okay, and then the final conclusion is that most of the article use iterative. Only around 24 article that use block block typology. That's why the 25 article that use block typology is excluded, tidak dipakai. This is based on the research. The researcher analyzed one by one the genre concept of the article, one by one until 138 article. And then finally, it is found that 117 article use iterative. So 25 article use block. That's why 25 article is excluded from data resources. Yeah, this is excluded. So this is based on the result of analysis. Buding, I think is correct. The second question, is it okay if we want to have writing? Yeah, we use this kind of the move. I think it depends. Yeah, it depends. What is the topic of the writing? Yeah, let's say if you want to have narrative writing, we want to have chronological order of essay. Let's say, is it okay that we use this kind of the move to write those chronological essay? I think impossible, because chronological essay has its own move, its own essay organization. Yeah. So I think it's depend. Yeah? It's depend. Let's say we want to have logical divisions essay, logical division essay. Of course, we cannot use this kind of the move, because this move is only for writing, finding, and discussion section. Of course, if you want to have the similar research about analytic genre in finding and discussion section, we can use this kind of the move. This genre, this move is only for finding and discussion section. We cannot use this in another writing, I think. In narrative writing, impossible. In descriptive, or I think impossible, because they have their own characteristic. Chronological order, impossible. Comparison and contrast, impossible, because they have their own organization. They have their own genre, I think. They have their own genre. So I think genre is good, would be based on their characteristic. That is my answer.
Okay, thank you, Bu Ning and Pak Toto. It's clear.
Okay,
Yeah,
Bu. Yes. Well, I have finally found the sentences. So on page 60, before previous research, the study focuses on the iterative typology because it fits the current type of data set. Yeah, that's the reason why the researchers chose the iterative typologies of research article. It is stated there. Thank you. Okay. Other questions, please? No?
May I ask?
Okay. Oh yeah, Bu Ida Vera. Okay.
Actually, I have wrote in the chat. Do you hear my voice, or it is very?
Yes, it's okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I read the abstract. Okay, question from Vida Vera. I read the abstract that this article used framework from Roying and Ellison in 2003 as the guidance. Would you explain us about that framework? Okay. Actually, there are other framework besides Roying and Ellison's as guidance. And then if you want to ask about the guidance, you can see on page 63. In 63 table T, the current version of MOOC analysis guideline in the iterative finding and discussion section. So according to Roying and Ellison in 2003, there are 4 MOOC. MOOC 1. MOOC 1, the purpose is providing background information, and then there are 3 steps in providing background information. First, you have to state the context or background theory on research aims, and then second one, you have to prepare the sequence of the presentations, And then for step 3, you restate the data collection and analysis procedure. And then for move 2, that is reporting results. There are 2 steps. First, you have to give statement of the result, either numerical value or reference to a graph or table, and then you report the finding without a reference to a graph or table. Okay, Pak Toto, you want to display it? Again, move 3, about summarizing result. Yeah, this one. Move 3, summarizing result, there is no step. And then move 4, there are steps in commenting on result. First, you have to interpret the results, and then you compare the result with literature, and then accounting for results. And the last one, in commenting on result, you evaluate the results, significance, limitation, implication, or recommended future work. That is Ruoying and Ellison 2003. Pak Toto?
Yeah. Yeah, Bu Wida, that is the answer book by Bu Ning. It is correct, Bu. And that is the example on the slide, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so it is about the top bottom. It's about the purpose of the move, I think. Is it right?
So this is rhetorical moves in writing findings and discussion sections. Rhetorical moves, yes, it's like what is it, Pak Toto?
Tahapan penulisan ya, tahapan penulisan.
Oh, okay, I see.
Okay, well, actually, I like the questions about why the researcher use this framework ya. Why? Actually, there is a reason. There is a reason why the researcher choose this framework. There are many framework, and then the researcher decided to use the Ruoying. Nah, okay. The researcher decided to choose this kind of the framework by Ruoying because it is the most complete one. It is the most complete one if compared to another framework. In framework, they only maximally have only three moves, okay, and so on and so on. And this is the most complete one. There are 4 moves. This is the ideal framework for the students in writing, finding, and discussion. So that is the reason why the researcher used this very complete framework to analyze the genre of the student in finding and discussion session writing. Okay, I think that's all, Bu Vera, ya.
Bu Vera, is that clear or?
Okay, thank you, Pak Toto. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, next. No more questions?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I think it's almost 3.
Yeah.
So if there is no questions, I think we should end the meeting, ya Pak ya.
Yeah.
Maybe Pak Toto wants to say something before we end the meeting.
Okay, thank you, Bu. The first, I come to my own conclusion that every chapter, the session or the chapter in research, every chapter or every session of the research provide the system that can be analyzed, that can be used as the basis of our research next time. In abstract, there is a genre, there is a system. In introduction, there is a system, there is a genre, there is a move, yeah. Maybe there are some move provided in, there is a move framework, yeah. There is a framework, introduction. In methodology, there is a framework. In finding and discussion, there is a framework. One of them is by Ruoying that we studied today. And then in conclusion, there is framework. So in every chapter is a framework that can be analyzed actually. And we should try to find this the framework in every session, and then we can give to the students, to our student at our campus as the template so that the research in our campus will find the conformity, kesamaan in explaining introduction, and then equality in explaining methodology, equality in explaining finding discussion, and so on and so on and so on. So I think it is very nice idea if we have this kind of framework in every session of the research. I think this is my final comment. And Uning, please.
Okay, if it is new for me too about the analysis about the rhetorical moves, and I think it will be easier if we try to remember about the generic structure of narrative text. For example, there are 3 steps: the orientation, complication, and resolutions. And I think in the funding and discussion sections, it is almost the same. So there are 4 rhetorical moves: move 1, move 2, move 3, and move 4. It is a kind of template, ya Pak ya. Jadi to be better in writing findings and discussion section, we have to follow the rhetorical moves based on Ruying and Allison, because that is the complete one. And in every move, there are steps. It could be 2, 3 steps, or it could be there is no steps like in move 3. That is my conclusions. Okay, I think it's enough.
Yeah, enough, Bu.
Okay, thank you for your participation, friends. See you next time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Bu Ning. Thank you, Pak Toto.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Pak Toto and Bu Ning.
Ya, thank you, Bu Asna.
Bye-bye.
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 Stop recording, please. Oke, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, hasil begadang.
Aku ketiduran. Ya Allah, ketiduran.
Bu Suci lemes ya.
Kelihatan wajahnya.
Apa Bu Suci?
Apa Bu? Kata lemes Bu.
Lemes saya, Bu.
Bu Yuli kenapa ya, Bu Yuli ya?
Yuli juga lemes, ngantuk.
Oh alah, ya Allah.
Suci.
Kok enggak? Ada yang beda.
Stay healthy ya. Jangan kemana-mana, Bu Suci.
Uning, thank you ya.
Oh iya, sama-sama Pak. Saya juga thank you Pak Toto. You really help me.
Sama-sama lah kok.
Understanding a move.
Ya, aku ternyata baru tahu kalau ada move sama step. Ya Allah.
Susah belajarnya, susah.
Padahal orang Indonesia loh yang bikin.
Elif ya.
Oh ya, Wilif ya.
Butara, mau tanya, Butara itu nggak apa namanya tuh daftar beasiswa nggak ke Mendikbud?
Jadi kalau tanya saya harus tanya semuanya tuh Bu. Yang ada.
Iya Bu nih, sudah daftar?
Ini udah pada
belum?
pergi deh. Belum ada yang daftar.
Aduh, iyalah kalau gitu. Saya mau lihat ya daftarnya. Ternyata inilah harus hati-hati, takut salah klik.
Kenapa Bu?
Saya
Karena
tuh
udah
klik
mulai kita.
ongoing, harusnya kan yang biasa.
Oh, I see.
Mau di reset dulu. Ya, oke deh. Dadah.
Good luck.
Ya.
Assalamualaikum.